Behind home plate, we bringing it to them all day. All day. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Win or lose, we bringing it to you always. Always. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Orange or black, we rebuild the pack. No matter where we at, you know we coming back. Section 336, we on this, so tune in. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Yeah, welcome to Birdland. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Birdland. Now, here come the boys from Section 336.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Baltimore sports fans of all ages, welcome to Section 336, Next Generation of Baltimore Sports Talk. I am your gently stunning host, Matt Soroka. As always, I'm joined by the button lever, Josh Soroka.
And here we are, the golden age of Birdland.
Yep. And I'm also joined this week by my son, Silas. Say hi, Silas.
Hey, that's more than he said pre-show.
Yeah. If you guys think Silas is super talkative pre-show and then shuts it down for the real thing, no. He's consistent.
Nope. Gave him some topics. He didn't seem interested.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of topics. Josh, I'm surprised you want to record this on Monday night while the college championship game is going on.
Go Irish.
Okay. This is I think the game is in Atlanta. And this is you know how it is down here south, Josh. People love their college football.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw CNBC today was taking callers about the inauguration and letting people call in and vent. And, you got one side complaining, one side praising. And then all of a sudden someone called in to start talking politics, but then turned this and said, my real problem with the country is the selection committee for tonight's bowl game.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is a lot going on right now in terms of the Ravens, we'll get to Santander, inauguration, college football. It is like overload TikTok being banned and then back. It is like I feel like everything's happening at once. Everyone needs to just calm down for a little bit.
There's lots of news, which is why I appreciate Mike Elias being quiet and doing nothing.
Yeah. Because
everyone else is filling up my news feed.
Yeah.
So the one thing I care about is quiet.
Well, last year, after the Ravens lost in the playoffs, I think it was, 3 or 4 days?
3 days.
3 days when they announced the trade for Corbin Burns?
Yep, 72 hours. So get ready to do that special episode on Wednesday evening.
Yeah, so we really rely on Elias to lift our spirits here.
Yes.
Because I'm still, Josh, I don't really want to get into it, but I'm still depressed about yesterday.
I had my Birdland today. I was so tempted to just complain about the Ravens.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be tomorrow's episode instead.
Yeah.
Today I already had one written for today.
All right.
Because there's multiple things frustrating when you look back at that Ravens game.
Yeah. I just have one general thought, but
I did lose a bet about that Ravens game. So on tomorrow's TMOS, I have to take a pie to the face.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who was giving you a pie in the face? Will you give yourself a pie in the face?
I will have to give myself a pie in the face.
Okay.
So I had to go to the store and pick out a pie today.
Mm.
And it's not that easy because they don't really have pies in the bakery.
Yeah.
That were good.
You got to just get the pie tray and just fill it with cream.
That's exactly what I have.
Yeah.
The 100%. I figured that would look best on camera anyway.
Yeah.
I know the Orioles in the past would go with the shaving cream, but it seemed like that was always burning the guy's eyes and stuff, so I went whipped cream.
Yeah. Hopefully you don't get hurt. I mean, the Orioles aren't allowed to do that anymore.
I wish I could call Mark Trumbo and have him come do it.
Yeah. Back in my day, we would do a lot of. I've been pied in the face a few times. I worked at a school where we would always make a big deal about Pie Day.
Okay.
At school, 314, and we would do some pieing on that day. And so I've given a pie to the face, and I've received a pie in the face. Have you ever received a pie in the face, Josh?
I don't think I've ever received or given a pie to the face.
All right.
So it'll be given. I will accomplish both tasks tomorrow as I give and receive.
Yeah, good for you.
And it's one of those things where it's like I can't do it too weak in my face because it won't look good. But I don't want to do it so hard that I hurt myself. So I got to figure out that right
Yeah, maybe you should do some practice rounds. You want to do a practice round right now on section 3 through 6?
No, that's okay. I also whipped cream's going to go everywhere, isn't it? Like all this crap
you
behind
want
me.
to cover some things, put some plastic over some stuff.
All right, I'll figure that out.
Yeah, I don't know what the actual spray radius of, depends on the velocity. Hey, and the good news is Silas can watch that live on the TMOS Facebook page because he doesn't go to school tomorrow. That's why he's staying up.
Yeah, which means there's no way he's going to be up at 8:15 in the morning.
Oh,
well, never mind. He wakes up at like 5.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the time he goes to bed. He might sleep in until 7. Yeah.
All right, Silas, I will. You can see me whipped creamed in the morning, right to the face.
It's not soft.
All right, hold on.
Because of weather. Can I get to the weather? Yeah.
Well, that's my question. Today is MLK Day.
Yes.
Why does Silas not have school tomorrow?
Well, because the weather. And first of all, we got to be careful. MLK Day, Josh. No kind of talk about ownership or criticism of the Orioles on MLK Day. Be respectful.
Right. How did I miss that? I did a whole MLK Birdland Today this morning, and how did I miss that part of the story? That would have been great.
That's one of my favorite John Angelos moments.
Oh boy!
But no,
I hope everyone was tweeting what's his name today about it.
Yeah. Who tweeting who? John Angelos?
No. The guy that asked the question.
Dan Connolly. Yeah.
Dan Connolly. Yeah.
We still haven't seen those books, by the way.
Yeah. Open those books up.
Yeah, we still haven't seen those books opened up. No, but Silas has school canceled because of the threat of snow. And I'll show you, Josh. Here is, and it is going to be cold, like in the 20s. And there is a chance of snow. And I'll show it on the viewer here. At 12 o'clock, there's like a 5% chance. At 6 o'clock is where it's the highest. At 6 o'clock, it's at a 40% chance. 6 in the evening, not in the morning. 6 in the evening tomorrow. There's a 40% chance of snow.
Because I would always think we need 3 to 4 inches to close school.
Yeah.
So what's your stick rate in Georgia?
We're at less than 2. Less than 2. And when they called it earlier, it was less than 1. So it's gone up a little bit.
All right. Now,
and it's not happening again. It's most likely going to happen in the evening tomorrow. So not even in the morning or during, like in the evening, 6 o'clock in the evening.
So they could have done an early release.
Early dismissal. Or here's what happened too. Last Friday, was it last Friday or 2 Fridays ago? They canceled school again the day ahead of time because there was a 50% chance of snow. And it turned out, here's a shocker, because we live in Macon, it rained the whole time and didn't snow at all. And so kids were home for a rain day. Now we do it again.
Do people in Macon not own jackets?
I don't understand it because it does seem, and like the alert was due to the winter weather. And I don't know, like, is this really?
Now, I know
off school because of cold weather?
I know part of it is that they don't have like snow plows and people don't have shovels to clear sidewalks and all. I get that. But
again, can I see a snowflake first? Like, can you show me a snowflake? And the 40% chance of snow, that's not enough for me. How is 40% chance of snow at 6 in the evening good enough to have no school tomorrow?
I did not know it was possible to get a snow day in Georgia.
This is the second one in 2 weeks. And I still haven't seen any snow. And I don't think I'm going to see any snow. I feel like I'm losing my mind. And I don't know why. And I understand people, like parents. I mean, parents are obnoxious on Facebook saying,
yes,
they were on Saturday. They were like, how come you haven't made an announcement about Tuesday school? Like, shut up. We have to make arrangements. Like, shut up.
I get posts.
Like, why can't you wait? Especially if there's this percentage chance, right? So there's a chance it doesn't snow at all. So let's wait and see what happens.
I still get Anne Arundel County posts. And I got a thing this past Thursday with them addressing all the parents, asking them about snow for this Tuesday, even though school is closed today.
Yeah, I know. It's wild.
And I believe school's even closed tomorrow, and it was addressed on Wednesday.
Oh, it's wild.
It's and the problem is I can't blame the kids. This is all parents.
And I don't want to make this into a bigger thing, Josh. I don't want to make this into a bigger thing.
I know 100% what it is.
Man, kind of get off my lawn. But 20 years ago, even 20 years ago,
yeah,
even when we were in high school, Now I'm sounding like a super
Yeah.
old person.
Yeah, I'll pretend like I was in high school 20 years ago. I was 25 years old.
Okay, 30 years ago, whatever. No, that's not 25. We'll split in between.
Okay.
I feel
I was
like,
20.
and maybe this is a Georgia thing, but I just feel like we become so kind of safe as a culture society. We can't make anyone upset. We can't get, I mean, heaven forbid, there's a snowflake and someone trips and falls down and hurts their little bum, that we become so sensitive to this stuff that we can't take we become so safe that we can't take any risks. And so we have to all the time,
You know where
go
it
on
went
the
wrong?
side of caution. Like, come on, people.
You know where it went wrong?
Am I going too far with this?
All these parents that have elementary school kids now, like for me, it's my last kid. But for all these parents who it's their first kid, second kid in elementary school, they were the parents that when they were kids received participation trophies.
Oh, you think it's a participation
trophy? It's this don't offend anyone. Don't let a chance that anyone could cry, that anyone could get upset, that anyone could get offended.
Yeah, I don't know about offended as much as I just think we just really want to be safe. And we don't want to kind of put any risk out there. And all of a sudden, well, what if they do open up schools and they do an early dismissal and there's a bus accident, right? Worst fear in the world, there's a bus accident. And so to avoid any...
No, it's I don't even think it's a bus accident. I think, what if someone's walking home from the bus stop and they slip on a piece of ice?
Yeah. And I just think we've gone to, like, okay, like make parents drive in a little bit of wintry kind of conditions, and maybe there'll be a car accident. Oh no.
Yep.
And that's too bad. But like, at the cost of what? At the cost of keeping tens of thousands of kids at home? Oh my! And I'm not one of those people too who like just complain
now
about schools, and I'm a teacher. Like I get it, and I'm like, I love all my Bibb County teachers get the day off, which is great for them. But
did the university close as well?
No, we're open.
Okay, good.
Yeah, the university's open.
Good.
Yeah, we're a little bit tougher. Though the last Friday when it just rained, they did close down for that one. But like, professors still had to work, but we had to work online. Everything went online.
Yeah. I do not understand, and I will never truly.
This is one of the things that still, like, it really is, like, it just baffles me. And I know it's going to happen tomorrow. We're going to wake up and like there's going to be no snow, probably the whole day.
Maybe you'll get some rain.
I'm going to be sitting there shaking my head, and then there'll still be people saying close on Wednesday too. For some reason, I don't understand. Get an extra coat. Get to school.
Put on some snow boots.
I don't understand. Yeah. And I know people don't have the gear, and they're not used to it.
You still have pants.
Yeah, I know.
Most of my life, I didn't have snow pants. I would put on an extra pair of pants.
Yeah, wear two pants. I don't get it, Josh. I don't get them. Now, if all of a sudden you get to school and they call for last snow, then do early dismissal, and I'm okay with that. But this idea of doing it always so early and ahead of time to the arrow, and it's too, if there's snow on the ground, and you say, okay, you can say today there's snow on the ground, tomorrow to be icy, let's shut them down. But there's nothing now. It's just cold.
And it's easier than ever to communicate with parents. So you could make the decision last minute tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
You could 6 a.m. send a text.
I know, but that would infuriate parents. Parents would be infuriated. Well, I didn't get my sitter lined up, and I didn't get this and this.
Oh, so see, back to offending parents.
Yeah, well, I don't know, but it's I don't know why it bothers me so much, but it irritates me. And maybe just because I'm in a bad mood because for other sports-related reasons, but just irritated by the whole thing.
They didn't cancel that Ravens game because of some flurries.
No, but I tell you what.
I wish they did.
I wish they did. I think if they were home, that would have been a different story.
I think home field in both games yesterday made a huge difference.
Yeah. All right.
On Saturday.
So let's get the Ravens stuff off our chest, Josh. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really talk about it.
Silas, what do you think of the Ravens?
Yeah, Silas, you can go first. Your thoughts on the Ravens game last night. He stayed up and watched the whole thing with me.
I agree.
I still think that Andrew should have caught that ball.
He should have. Definitely.
Yeah, that cost us the whole
which
game.
one? Both of them?
Both of them.
They were both in his chest.
Yeah.
Yes, I give you that. There's reasons to be upset with Andrews because he should have caught those. But Lamar had a fumble and an interception. He gave the ball up twice as well.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
supposed to be the MVP. What do you think of that?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, and people said, well, this is the decider that now, Josh Allen, this proves Josh Allen should be the MVP.
No, Josh Allen's stats were crap yesterday.
He was a game manager. That was it. He didn't make. I mean, he had a couple decent runs, but he wasn't
No.
really. I mean, Lamar Jackson played a lot better outside the turnovers than Josh Allen did.
Yeah. All right. The obvious frustrations is Mark Andrews dropping 2 balls. Is Lamar Jackson giving the ball up?
Well, the
twice.
Andrews fumble you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And Andrews fumbled.
The drop
he had
and the fumble.
2 drops and a fumble.
Okay, yeah, but the 2-point conversion drop and the fumble, those are the 2 biggest ones.
Yes. Now, I have one major issue with the coaching staff.
Okay, I have no issues with the coaching staff, but go ahead.
Maybe I'll change your mind. And it is not the 2-point conversions because they were the right call both times.
I would like to see Derrick Henry the first time. But
No. I mean, going for 2 points was the right call.
Going for it. Okay.
The first time, I wanted to just give Derrick Henry the ball.
Because they ran down the whole field.
Exactly. My problem with the coaching staff as a whole, when I look at that game, is that last week we embarrassed the Steelers. We embarrassed the Steelers by using Lamar Jackson's legs and having some design runs for Lamar Jackson. We had 0 designed runs for Lamar Jackson in yesterday's game when it worked so well the week before.
That does not change my mind. I have 0 issues with that. And the reason I have 0 issues with it is because why they ran so successfully against Pittsburgh is because they did that zone read.
Yes.
And they always took away Derrick Henry. And so Lamar kept it on the read.
Right. And I think if Lamar would have kept it more, Derrick Henry would have been able to bust out more.
I don't see how Derrick Henry could have busted out more in the second half.
Well, yeah, in the second half, he was.
I don't think our run game could have been better. And then our run game was running all over the place second half.
No, our offense was much better. We just gave the ball up multiple times, 3 times.
Yeah, and this is my issue, Josh, where and my takeaway from the whole thing is, and we can dissect it play by play, but I just hate I just the cruelty of Baltimore sports, the cruelty of sports in general, right? I thought, I mean, this is, I don't want to go all Orioles, but this is Baltimore sports right now. The team plays really well, and then you play well for the whole season, and it's grind. And the weaknesses of the Ravens. What were the weaknesses of Lamar Jackson and the Ravens? Is Lamar Jackson would have these boneheaded plays or something sometimes. And then
what was
hurt himself.
4 interceptions the entire season?
Yes, this was the strength of the Ravens. And people say, oh, the Ravens beat themselves. Not like this. The Ravens beat themselves in the regular season through penalties, not through turnovers. The Ravens are great at not turning the ball over. And so we think, well, this is a different Ravens team. Lamar is smarter. The team as a whole does not turn the ball over. But what happens when we get to the playoffs? The same thing that happened last year, the year before. We turn the ball over. They said the last time Lamar Jackson has turned the ball over more than once was in the playoff game last year against the Chiefs. And so this is like why? What's the whole point of the regular season if you're going to revert back to these bad habits that happened in the seasons before?
It's like the Orioles, where the long ball is how they live all season, and then they get to the playoffs and they can't score runs.
Yeah, the offense, right? Like, you maybe have some question marks about the bullpen or the starting pitching, but the offense, like, all right, we got a good offense, and then the offense disappears 2 years in a row in the playoffs. Yeah. And now we see the Ravens, where their strength is not turning the ball over and being safe with the football, and all of a sudden they turn the ball over 3 times, no turnovers. It's like
the Ravens.
It's cruel to watch. It's cruel. I hate it.
Then the Ravens were clearly a better team than the Bills yesterday.
Yeah, 3 turnovers and still almost won.
Coming back, 3 turnovers all the way to the end, but 3 turnovers is a lot to get past, and you're a dropped ball from getting past.
Yeah, I'm convinced first of all, if Andrews catches that ball, I'm convinced we win the game because
the momentum.
We were just running all over them the second half of the game. And that's the frustrating thing, Josh, is I think if we play them 10 times, we win 8 or 9 of them, I feel like.
Well, and
it's just so frustrating.
If we played in Baltimore, we would have won. Because the ball's not icy, the ball's not wet.
Yeah, and the crowd matters.
The crowd does matter.
Yeah, I liked how the ball was slippery and icy and wet for us, but not for them. That was interesting how that worked.
Don't you think it's more they're used to that? They play in that more. They've been practicing all week in that.
Maybe. I don't know, but it's just. I mean, it's like you watch this team all season long, and you root for them, and you think this year's different, and then just in one half, in 60 minutes, it just slips away.
Correct.
It's just sports, man.
Yeah.
Cruel. Cruel.
And the defense played great yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean,
they started off a little bit rough, but they got together. Second half it was like 3 and out.
Right.
Yeah.
They had multiple stops to get us back in the game. You think about
Lamar Jackson had some great plays.
Yeah.
Isaiah Likely played really well. Also, I think if Zay Flower plays that game too, I think we win.
Yeah, correct. Bateman had some great catches, but still, Zay Flowers.
They were blitzing and just leaving 1-on-1, and that's when Zay Flowers is at his best, right?
Oh, yeah, that's when Flowers runs a mile. Somebody. Yeah.
You throw a 5-yard pass because they were doing some of those quick passes to Andrews and to Likely, and they can't do it that much with the ball. You give a 5-yard pass to Flowers, and watch out.
Yes.
Takes it for 30.
Yep.
But whatever. It doesn't. To me, the only kind of consolation on the loss is like the Bills have had it really bad, and the Bills fans have had it really, really rough. And so, like, I'm glad it wasn't the Chiefs, right? And I'm rooting for the Bills to beat the Chiefs,
right?
Because the Bills have suffered probably even more than the Raven fans have suffered.
Yes, and that's also why I am rooting for the Commanders. Because the Commanders fans have dealt with bad ownership. They've suffered through the Dan Snyder era. And Jaden Daniels is fun to watch now. And that's good for that fan base.
Yeah. You know what's interesting, though? I know people will start saying, and we'll see what happens with the Eagles, but if they win and get the Super Bowl, they're going to start saying Jaden Daniels, they're now the powerhouse in the NFC.
Yes.
And all I got to say is, what Mahomes has done is incredible because you just because you get there once, it doesn't mean you're going to get there all the time.
No.
Lamar Jackson, Josh,
but he's
going to win his third MVP. He's going to be going to his 29th year. The man's getting old and never got into a Super Bowl for a player that elite.
Yeah.
Is just wild.
Right.
I hope we're not saying the same thing about Gunnar Henderson in 5 years, by the way, too.
I hope not. Speaking of, we have 23 days until pitchers and catchers report.
Oh, is that what it is? 23 days?
23 days. So about 3 weeks of no Baltimore sports.
All right. Hey, listen, for Silas, pitchers and catchers they report officially on Saturday, but he's already out there having practices. So, the 7-year-olds, I think, do it a little more intensely than the major leaguers.
Well, it's also Georgia, and your season's going to be over by May.
Yeah. True.
Because they got to cram it in before it gets hot.
Wait, when does spring ball start in Florida there?
I don't know. We're not playing spring ball.
Oh, you're not doing Little League?
Not doing Little League.
You're not?
No.
When was this decided? I was not consulted about this at all.
We'll talk off the podcast.
All right. All right.
Not my decision.
All right, that's fine. I'm surprised. Silas is out there having a ball baseball. I'm surprised because now at home he won't even pick up a baseball anymore.
I do.
No, Sass, you only pick up the basketball.
Yes,
you only pick up a basketball.
I do.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I meant to say you're
Silas,
just more into basketball now.
Stick with the basketball. Cal Ripken Jr., excellent basketball player. Gunnar Henderson, excellent basketball player. You need that hand-eye coordination of basketball to help you on the baseball field.
It's true. A lot of good baseball players were also good basketball players. It's true. I didn't mean to say you don't play baseball at all, Silas, all right?
Silas, I'm sorry to hear that you now hate baseball. Right now. Maybe you'll be a baseball fan again sometime, Silas.
Yeah. Hey, we got some Orioles news to get to.
What? What type of Orioles news did I miss this week?
Anthony Santander.
Oh, that's not Oriole news. That's Blue Jay news.
No, it's Orioles news when a former Oriole signs with another team.
All right, then we got a lot of Oriole news.
Yeah. So.
All right, so 5 years, $90 million.
Yeah.
So 15 mil a year.
The
This
that's more
would
than 15 million a year.
really? Oh
18
yeah,
and
that
a
would be
half.
70, 18 and a half. I did the math wrong.
The I'll say
This is
this: the Fangraphs projected him to get 4 years at 80 million, so he surpassed what Fangraphs,
okay.
what people thought he would get.
It sounds like an overpayment to me.
It sounds like maybe 1 or 2 many years to me, but
Yeah. But good for him. Good for him to get his money.
good for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays, I feel like I've tried to sign every player in baseball,
And they
has
just
failed
miss
to.
out on him. Yeah.
So now they finally get Santander.
I hope he plays better in Toronto for the Blue Jays than he did for the Orioles. Except for, of course, when we play them.
Yeah,
Because I know he has a lifetime 191 batting average in Toronto.
Oh, really? That's funny. Usually
Yeah.
teams kind of sign players that have crushed them.
Exactly. And I'm sure Anthony has, but probably at home games.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be an adjustment for one, the cold weather is going to be an adjustment for him, and two, to
Indoor
play
stadium, right?
to play indoors will be an adjustment, I imagine.
Yeah. But good for him getting that money. It doesn't. I mean, when you hear those years and that money, it really doesn't seem like the right fit for the Orioles.
No, and it was something
fine.
that I mean I already knew he wasn't coming back.
Yeah.
And
I feel like we have a good situation in place to replace them. I feel good about it with Tyler O'Neill and Heston Kjerstad.
I feel
like
great
we're
about it, and we get a draft pick.
Yeah, a compensation pick, like a 32nd pick or something. So we get 2 compensation picks. So we get
Yes,
our first round pick, and then at the end of the first round we get 2 more picks.
right.
Because of Burns and now Santander. So, Elias is, we're all frustrated about the offseason. Elias is over there giggling, laughing his head off, so excited to get to draft more prospects to hoard.
And I'm okay with that because I'm comfortable with our team the way that it is now. I've accepted that we are not making any more moves. I have accepted that I am comfortable with this team playing competitive ball.
Okay, Josh, and I am too. I'm good. We're good. Sas,
That doesn't mean I won't complain every time the Dodgers sign someone I want.
Yeah, before we get to the Dodgers, our father has thrown out this idea via text, and I talked to him on the phone today, and he threw this idea out via the telephone call. Are you aware of the idea I'm talking about?
I am not, and I watched the game with him yesterday.
Okay, he has this whole scenario, and I want to get your response to it, where we trade Ryan Mountcastle, package him with someone. I wasn't paying attention who else. Ryan Mountcastle, package with somebody else.
I saw something come across on the text, and I just blew it off.
He talked about on the phone with me just today, so he's into it. For Louis Castillo from the Mariners, and then so we trade for that pitcher with Mountcastle as part of the package, and then to replace Mountcastle, we signed Pete Alonso. Now, the intriguing part about this deal is, I think Pete Alonso would be an upgrade over Ryan Mountcastle.
It would be. So I've got his deal here. It says, we must trade Mountcastle and O'Hearn to the Mariners for Castillo.
I don't know about O'Hearn, too.
So he basically wants to say, here's 2 first basemen. Give us your pitcher.
Yeah, I was thinking, okay.
Then 5 minutes after that, we signed Pete Alfonso, according to him, for 3 years.
Yeah, and on the phone he said Alfonso too. So he really thinks his name's Alfonso.
Who is Alfonso?
I don't know if he should be doing Mike Elias' job. Like, he thinks he's Mike Elias over here.
No.
But if you call the Mets and trade for Alfonso, you might not get the player you think you're getting.
It's like the old fantasy football joke where you sign the wrong, like Randy Moss.
Yeah, and you offer a trade Randy Moss from the practice squad of the Raiders. But the thing that's intriguing, I think it'd be Ryan Mountcastle and a prospect, but whatever.
Pete Alfano played for the 1977 Cleveland Indians.
Yeah, I don't think you want him playing first base for you. But this is one of the, I think, areas that could use a boost is right-handed hitting power. And Ryan Mountcastle, of course, you'd be trading away a right-handed power hitter, but you'd be getting a better right-handed hitting power hitter in Pete Alonso.
You would.
And so the idea, and you would add a pitcher. People have mixed feelings about Luis Castillo. A lot of people think his better days are behind him.
Right. He doesn't excite me. I'll tell you that.
Right. I do. I think his days as being a number one, a 1 or a 2 starter are gone. I think he's a 3 or 4. But if you can add Pete Alonso, I mean, that's an exciting proposition. And I'm really curious what's going to happen with Pete Alonso. What's going to happen with Alex Bregman? Like, there's still some big power hitting guys. I mean, it seems like the Pete Alonso market doesn't exist. So I'm really curious about him.
Right, because the Mets made a move, so he's not really returning there.
Yeah, and if he does return, I mean, they offered him a lot of money last year, and now it'd be weird for him to come back for a lot less money to the same team. So, and Alex Bregman is still out there. Those are the two biggest hitters left. And then we talked about last week, but Jack Flaherty's still out there. But if the Orioles want to kick tires out, but I mean, it's intriguing, the idea, if you want to get real creative with it. I don't think Mike Elias will, but I would not be opposed to a trade that involves Ryan Mountcastle with the plan of bringing in a Pete Alonso. But that's tricky to pull off because you need to sign Pete Alonso and trade Ryan Mountcastle, and if both of those things don't happen, then you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, and then right, and you kind of have to sign Pete Alonso first before you can trade the guys.
Right.
Because if you trade them and then you don't have a first baseman, Pete Alonso's price tag just went up.
Yeah. But you can't roll in the season with Ryan Mountcastle and Pete Alonso because they play the same position. And
no, that'd be awkward.
Yeah.
So it's a tricky move, but yes, I'd be okay with it. Though I don't, Castillo doesn't excite me. Pete Alonso would.
Yeah. All right.
But hey, we're moving the right field. We're moving the left field wall in anyway, so we can expect more out of Mountcastle to begin with.
Yeah, I think it's a big year for Mountcastle, right?
You know what? I'd rather just sign Jack Flaherty rather than make those moves.
Yeah.
Because Flaherty's still out there too, and that's another one where I don't understand why he's still out there.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm surprised that Santander got as much as he got waiting this long.
No, me too.
Right? Like if this was out there before, I don't know. And maybe he was waiting for another team to match it or something. I don't know. Maybe they want to go to Toronto, but or maybe Toronto was in on some other guys, and when that didn't work out, they shipped it to Santander. But I'm just surprised. Like, what at this point, there's no other shoes to drop. Like, what are you waiting for? You would think all the teams gave players best offers. Like, I don't understand what the holdup is. I don't understand why that's. It happens every year, I guess. I just don't understand why it drags out so long. Give your best offer, take it or don't take it.
I assume it was as soon as Trump swore in this afternoon. Anthony called up Toronto and said, "All right, I'm coming."
It was politically motivated.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can assume based on the timing of my text messages.
The Dodgers, Josh.
Yeah. So since we last spoke, they signed Roki and Tanner Scott.
Yeah, that's Orioles news.
Yes, that's where it covers with the Orioles news. But the bigger question is, this is bad for baseball, right? The Dodgers just out buying everyone.
Yeah, I heard, I saw a tweet, and maybe you can help me articulate why it made me so mad, but it made me so mad. Ben Verlander, are you aware of this guy?
Yeah, it's whatever. It's the good Verlander's brother.
Yeah, Justin's brother. I guess works for MLB Network. And he tweeted out that this is not bad for baseball.
Yeah, he's got that Flippin' Bats podcast.
Yeah, he's just saying this isn't bad for baseball. This just means that other owners need to step up and do what the Dodgers are doing. And there's no excuse for them not to, but it's not bad for baseball because other owners can do the same thing. And that take makes me so angry, Josh.
Here's why it upsets me. Because he is a baseball player. He sees it as not bad for baseball because he looks at it as baseball players making more money instead of what's best for the game and the fan base.
Yeah, Josh, as the fan base, as the fan, I can't make my owner sign more players.
Right. It doesn't matter what.
And if I'm an owner, I'm saying as an owner, I can't make my market size any bigger.
No.
I mean, LA has $1 billion in deferred funds, and they can do that because their market size isn't shrinking. It's always going to be huge.
Right.
Baltimore, Milwaukee, Cleveland, we don't have that luxury.
We could sell out 81 games, and there's still no promise that we're spending that kind of money.
Well, Josh, we could sell out 81 games, and the Dodgers could sell out, 10 games, and the Dodgers would have made more money that year than the Orioles.
Yes.
By a large chunk.
Right. And
with
and
TV and all the other stuff.
right, and that's why they've got like the fake salary cap, but then they just pay the fines because they're the Dodgers. They can pay all that and send that money down, and then the owners don't care because they get the money. There's got to be a way to fix it, but I don't know. I don't know the answer.
Yeah, but this idea that, and I know you still have to play the games, but we've never seen. I don't think, Josh, we've seen this like this before. I don't think we've ever seen, even when the Yankees in their heyday, like we've never seen a juggernaut like this before. Where I mean, after they signed, Shohei Ohtani, then Yamamoto,
Yes,
and now Sasaki, you got the three best Japanese pitchers in the world, maybe the three best pitchers in the world. I don't know. And then you throw in their three other good pitchers like Blake Snell and Glasnow, and Kershaw is going to be like their number 8 pitcher starter. It's just
it's starting to become like the NBA.
And to respond to that, you say, "Oh man, I can't believe they got Sasaki." Which, by the way, I hate Roki Sasaki now. I hate him for doing this. It's the most boring, predictable. And there's all this. I'm going to narrow my list down to 15 teams, 15 interviews, and then I'm going to narrow down to 3. Just don't do the whole interview thing. Just sign with the Dodgers.
Right, and the whole fake thing of I don't care about a large market. I'd prefer a small market. I just want a chance to win. No, you're lying. It's all lies. You didn't even go with the biggest number. You just went to the Dodgers. It's all lies.
It's fine. I would want to play with my with Ohtani too. Ohtani is awesome. I would want to play with him too. Just don't do the whole dog and pony. It felt like LeBron James doing the whole reveal.
Yes.
And go into Miami. Like, shut up. Just sign with the Dodgers and move on with your life. Now I can't stand them. The Dodgers now, Josh. I just hate the Dodgers so much for signing every player. They've moved up to me. They're now under the Yankees. It's Yankees, Dodgers, Red Sox for me.
Well, and that's why we hate the Yankees. That's part of why we hate the Yankees is the Yankees used to do that crap all the time.
Right. This unfair advantage. Mark Teixeira. Mark Teixeira for me is the embodiment of it.
Yes.
We'll just sign everyone who's good.
Or even Musina. Taking Musina straight from us. Here's a boatload of money.
Yeah, it's another example of that. And now the Dodgers are doing it. And if Roki Sasaki was not enough, let me just a couple days later go out and sign the best reliever on the market too, in Tanner Scott.
Right.
Okay.
Right. That's just
I mean, I think they're going to be a juggernaut. I'm just happy we don't play in that National League. So maybe in a series we can win. And this idea of you still have to play the games, Josh. The Dodgers are going to win. I would bet my house that they are going to win the National League and win the NL West.
Is there any chance we can call Corbin Burns back and be like, hey, I know you signed with the Diamondbacks, but you've got no chance of winning now.
Well, maybe he might be available for the trade deadline now.
Right. No, his whole thing is to stay at home. He doesn't care about winning, losing. He wants to be at home.
I'm sure he's got no trade clauses in there.
Yeah. But it puts but you're right. I'm glad I'm not the Diamondbacks, Giants, Rockies, or Padres. The Padres have tried forever to win that division.
Yeah, the Padres even spend a ton of money.
They do.
If you're a smaller market like the Rockies, forget about it, dude.
Yeah. How do you compete?
You can't.
You know what it's going to be? The Rocky fans are going to be calling for redistricting of the divisions like the Oriole fans did for years as the Yankees destroyed us.
Yeah, put all the big markets in the division. That's one way to fix baseball, right?
That is one way.
The 5 biggest markets in the same division.
Yeah. I always thought the divide up by regions, but you're right. What if we did it by market size?
By market size.
Kind of like college. Kind of like college divisions.
Yeah.
And then who cares about records? We just have a selection committee choose who goes to the World Series.
Selection committee. And we put funny numbers next to you as your seed. That doesn't even distinguish who the best team is. We just put random numbers.
That doesn't mean anything. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
I know. That's what Cyrus was looking at the seeds. He was like, well, why is, I forget what it is. Like Notre Dame the 7.
Oh, it makes no sense.
6 or something. And
the craziest part about college football playoffs is that it is so screwed up when college basketball playoffs is like the standard for how you do a sports tournament.
Yeah. March Madness, baby.
Yeah.
But even then, it's a testament. Like people were complaining about, well, we'll expand to 12 teams and no one can complain. The NCAA keeps on in the basketball keeping on expanding. Yes. I don't know. There's like 70 teams now because now there's all the playing games.
They've got the 4
tournament.
playing teams.
And there's still people complaining that they didn't get into it. Like they're not one of the top 70 teams. Like,
well, and don't forget, there's an entire other tournament, the NIT, where if you don't get into it.
Yeah.
So, but that's just because there's too many colleges.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't see any argument where this is not bad for baseball.
Yeah, and it's not going to. I know
bad
people
for the
in their
fans.
dreams want to say, "Well, this will elevate all the owners to sign more players and stuff."
No, it doesn't. It puts bigger separation between the small markets and the large markets.
And the whole Japan. I mean, they got Yamamoto and Sasaki. They got for nothing, and so this whole cornering also of the Japanese market is a little bit unfair. But not to mention, I would imagine the TV deals with Japan now will pay for pretty much every contract anyway.
That's
right?
a good point. Yeah.
The market, not just in LA, but in Japan now, they own that market.
I don't know. They got to figure that out. Does LA then own that market, or does that go through Major League Baseball? I hope that goes through Major League Baseball.
I don't know how that works, but do you think about other ways like jersey sales and stuff?
I know.
That would be the Dodgers.
It will. You're right.
But yeah, and even I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of wild. So yeah.
Well, there's your Orioles news.
Yeah, that's what I got to all my talking points. Santander are the Dodgers bad for baseball. Raven, the cruelty of sports, and the Pete Alonso theory, or the Pete Alfonso theory. I got through all my talking points. The
Pete Alfonso theory.
Yeah, it was a tricky moment, Josh. The 6:30 start time. Emily worked last night for a guy with 3 kids and a wife working.
6:30 is a tough time.
It's a tricky one. Do you have I have a go-to. This is only emergency only. Pull the cord when dad needs some alone time. I have one emergency go-to. Do you have like a go-to like this? That's like this is your pull the cord.
All right. Well, this is on a
day. Alone, so I can do something by myself.
On a day without school, I'm guessing it's some type of movie. You put on a movie for the kids.
Yeah.
Or is it or do you drug them? Is it sleep gummies?
No, I don't do sleep gummies. Silas was with me watching the game, so it was 2 girls. What can you do for a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old to get them out? And I'm not proud of this, Josh. At 6:30.
The iPad. It's the iPad.
Well, it was specifically because my 2-year-old won't sit there and watch the iPad uninterrupted for an hour. It was the TV. I like to go in my room and watch the TV, and there's one show on YouTube.
Bluey?
And I don't let my kid know. Think that would be reasonable. And I do that, and they'll watch Blue for a little bit, but they won't sit. But the 2-year-old won't sit there and watch Blue.
All right, but there's one show that sucks them in.
The 5-year-old and the 2-year-old will watch, and I hate it so much. And so I only do it in case of emergency. I'm not proud of it. Do you know what I'm talking about, Silas?
Yeah.
It's a YouTube video. Have you seen these, Josh? Where it's just a lady's fingers, and she's just making cakes, little mini cakes.
No, I have no idea what you're talking about. And it runs for 2 hours.
It just goes on for hours. I mean, you could watch it for days. There's endless amount of them, and she makes different heart cakes and little cakes, and that's all it is, Sass, right? It's like 2 fingers making cakes, and those kids will sit there and watch 2 fingers making cakes, and without interruption for hours. And there's no educational value, and I'm sure it's rotting their brains. I can't see how it's good for anything.
Making like real cakes?
Yes, they make like real tiny mini cakes, and they'll make like princess cakes. There's like princesses involved sometimes. Yeah, it's YouTube thing. I don't know even how it was ever discovered, but I never let them watch it except for in case of emergency. And last night emergency, I said, guys, you can watch the
I've got it right here. The best of tiny cakes.
Yeah. And
this is 2 hours and 2 minutes long.
Yeah, fingers making cake. And my kids, my 2-year-old and 5-year-old, will sit there for hours. Hours, Josh. You just watch her make little cakes with her fingers. And anyway, I pulled that, and I put all the kids to bed at halftime. But I pulled that for the first half. I let them watch that.
It's this lady, right?
Yep, that's her. And she'll just go to town, and she'll just do it over and over again. Different designs.
Silas, are you in on this cake lady too?
No.
There's something, I don't know what it is, but if they're watching, I'll walk in there, all of a sudden 20 minutes go by, and I don't know what I just happened to my time. But just kind of sucks you when you just start watching it. All
right, so that worked. So the boys could watch the football game.
Yeah, it was effective though. It kept them occupied, and then I put them to bed at halftime.
That's awesome.
Because you got to get the 6:30 to 7:30. That was a key hour where the kids are still awake.
I went
thankfully, we
to
didn't have school Monday, so it was okay.
I went to Dad's yesterday. Watched the game with him. Swung by Buffalo Wild Wings and grabbed a bunch of wings.
Nice.
And took them over there and enjoyed the game with him.
Nice.
We had one little hiccup where it was like the second quarter where his cable went out, and suddenly the TV didn't work in the living room.
I'm sure Dad handled it well. Dad doesn't get stressed out. I'm sure he handled it. He remained calm the whole time.
Well, thankfully the TV in the bedroom worked while I was able to reset things. But he was already like putting on his shoes, ready to go someplace else to watch the game.
Did he have to go to a place? Was he going to knock on the neighbor's house, try to borrow the neighbor's TV?
He was going to go to a bar, but there's no bars around there.
No,
where they live, there's nothing. And I had to remind him that he has a backup home there. Because he owns the second condo in that unit.
You go upstairs, dude.
So there was no one there. We were going to go to the second condo, but it came back.
All right.
But besides that, it was all good. No kids to deal with, just the dog.
Yeah.
But I also wish I went to bed at halftime.
Yeah. I mean, but the second half, they played better.
They did. It was a lot better until that end.
Until the end.
Yep.
Yeah. And just of all people, I mean, it's one thing if it was like Isaiah Likely or all these receivers you've never heard of who are somehow now
the
playing
problem
in the playoffs.
Or
Wallace, but it was Mark Andrews.
Yeah, it's Mark Andrews, and the problem
and it was also even doubly worse, Josh, because like, and I don't want to do this. I don't want to talk about it because we get depressed again. But it was like a cool redemption moment after the fumble.
Yeah. It was
this is what we love about football. You get another chance.
They're giving it to Andrews to fix his mistake.
Yeah,
and it also stings because Likely had a great year while Andrews had a down year. And Andrews is going to be a huge cap hit this offseason.
Not only Andrews had a down year, Andrews was a touchdown machine all year.
And that's it.
He had a down first 6 weeks.
I think Likely had a better year.
I think numbers-wise, Andrews had a better year.
Maybe outside of touchdowns, I'd have to take a look.
I mean, receptions,
and yards, I think
Andrews had a better year.
And I love the Andrews under huddle, just push and get 1 yard. I love that play.
That's a good little wrinkle.
So, but I think it's a sour note if they decide to cut Andrews this offseason.
Oh my! I mean, you guys. I mean, the NFL's wild with all the cap and
that's the problem.
I don't know anything about that. I don't know about what his contract hit is.
I think he's like $16 million next year. I think I saw. And that's a lot. Big cap hit.
Yeah, Likely there. Man, I hope it doesn't happen because I don't want Mark Andrews to go out like that.
I don't either.
All right. I'm man. You move on to next year, and the Ravens, I think, are gonna be good next year.
They are.
Derrick Henry's a year older, but he's shown no signs of aging, so I think he's gonna have another good year. And
no, he put up 2,000 yards. He had one of his best career years.
And Eric DeCosta is good at his job, so I think he's just going to get better.
And I love Zach Orr calling his defensive plays.
Yeah. After the first 6 weeks.
Yeah, once they brought in what, Pitts to help him out?
You think it was that? Everyone credits to Kyle Hamilton switching to safety too.
Yeah. I think it was they brought him some help.
Yeah,
with adapting. But yeah, I like what he's been doing with our defense.
Yeah. No, I hope they bring in. I hope everyone comes back. I hope Munkin comes back. I hope Orr comes back. I hope John Harbaugh comes back. Like, run it back with the same squad. Add a couple additions, maybe to secondary. Get another wide receiver in there to add depth. Maybe a third wide receiver.
Next year is the final year of Mark Andrews' contract, and he's expected to get $16.9 million.
Okay. They could always restructure. They do that all the time too. Right, add a year or two, and
looks like a cap hit of 14, so they could restructure.
Yeah. All right. I don't want to do this, Josh. If you want to go, let's do a Ravens podcast. They'll break it down for you.
Yeah, they'll do a much better job than us.
Chad McCusick break it down.
Yes.
But it's cruel. It's disappointing. It's just not just that we lost, just how we lost too. Just really disappointing. But
it was sad ending.
Yeah.
But you were right. It is Baltimore sports, and it's how the Orioles ended. It's how the Ravens end.
Yeah. It's like, what's the point of watching the whole regular season, Josh? If you're just gonna do something dumb in the playoffs and lose like that.
Yep. They get us excited, get our hopes up, and it all falls apart.
Yeah. And then I saw people tweeting how many days till spring training or pitchers and catchers report.
23.
Yeah. That's great. That reminds me of what happened in the playoffs with the Orioles. Good.
I know.
Thank
23 to get excited for a disappointment in October.
To be swept in October.
Yep.
No, that's not going to happen again.
All right. Well, hopefully next week we've got some positive news to talk about.
Yeah. At least I won't be in such a bad mood a week removed, hopefully.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if I even watch the rest of these playoff games. I don't know.
I will watch.
It's a shame, too, because I love watching Jaden Daniels.
I will watch Jaden
to win.
Daniels.
I don't know if I can watch.
Yeah. I will probably not watch the Chiefs-Bills because I'm going to get irritated.
Yeah.
Because the Chiefs should have lost that game this past weekend, too. They sure get a lot of help from the refs.
Yeah, it's tough to beat the Chiefs. You have to beat the Chiefs and the refs.
I like the meme going around today that the Bills have already been penalized 15 yards before the game even started.
Yeah, I always like the meme after the game where you get Mahomes swapping jerseys with the refs. That always makes me laugh.
That's a good one, too.
Yeah.
So.
All right, let's get out of here. Can we get out of here?
Let's get out of here.
All right, boys and girls, thanks for listening. If you haven't done it yet, go to Apple Podcasts and leave us a review, or wherever you listen, and leave us a review. 5 stars. Tell us why you enjoy the show. If you're in a bad mood because the Ravens lost, maybe wait till next week to leave the review, actually, until you're in a better mood, and then leave the review. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram and all your social media platforms. You can follow me on X at Section336. You can follow Josh on X
At Josh Soroka.
Thanks for listening, boys and girls. And as always, go O's.